Guys, you can see where I'm standing right now. These are the gates of the most creative B school of the country. The B school of the country which is famous for marketing and known as the Mecca of marketing, MICA. Now this video is gonna cover what roles do MICA people get, where have people interned during the summer internship. So I'm going to speak to a few people who have already completed the internships. तो उनसे बात करके ये पता लगेगा आपको कि internship में कैसे roles मिलते हैं और आप क्या कर सकते हो internships में कि आपका internship अच्छा जाए. So that of course आपको बाद में PPO मिल सके. I'm also going to talk to the placement committee so that they tell us about what new roles MICA is getting. This video is going to be very, very important to you. We're going to cover all these things very minutely in this video. Alright, so now we have with us someone from the placement committee itself, Antara. Thank you for coming in. I have a lot of questions. I went through the placement report. First of all, if you could tell the viewers what were the numbers according to the last year final placement report, the average salary and the highest salary.
So the average for last year was 20 lakhs per annum and the highest CTC was 36 lakhs per annum.
Alright, now when I went through the placement report, I did see that FMCG and FMCD sectors made the most number of offers, which is a good sign because these are the companies and the sector where people want to work at.
Right.
But what are the roles which were prominent from these sectors that were offered at MICA?
So for most of the companies, they offered management trainee roles, and within management trainees, people were offered roles such as sales and marketing, communication, branding, corporate communication, PR. These were some of the roles.
All right. And if we kind of talk about the most sought after roles, for example, the roles which come in day 0, day 1.
Right.
If you could, because MICA has always been one of the top movers with the upcoming roles in marketing. So which are these new age roles? For example, content is one such role. New age roles which people are, going after.
So traditionally, although sales and marketing have been the roles that MICAns have been picked up for, in recent times, analytics and roles around supply chain, procurement have been the ones that companies have been coming to MICA for. Perfect. I have one question that I always wanted to ask someone, and since you are at MICA and you are looking after placements in MICA, right.
There's a misconception, there's a myth that generally marketing companies prefer freshers. MICA has had 40% freshers last year. So is it true that some companies, the companies have major affinity towards freshers or people with less work ex, or it's just a misconception? So it depends on the requirements of the company, very honestly. There are companies and specific roles, you could say, for which companies do prefer freshers. But again, for certain kinds of roles, they only look for people with work experience. So again, it's a mixed bag and depends on the requirements of the company. Thank you so much for the answer, Nandana. No problem. So guys, now we have with us Anita ma'am, who's Professor of Marketing and Branding at MICA. तो जिनको brand managers बनना है, उनके लिए segment बहुत important है, छोड़ के मत जाना.
Of course, MICA is a mecca of marketing and branding as well. Clearly speaking, since such a long time, we've started moving towards the roles on the client side. MICA being a school of marketing and branding and management, of course there's a creative element which is very strongly invested in all the subjects that are being done here.
So now I'm sitting with a few second year students of MICA who've completed 1 year at this beautiful campus, but most importantly, they've completed their summer internships. So first of all, since this is the Mecca of marketing in India, and I'm sure that there would be diverse marketing roles on offer during summer internships, if you could tell us about your role in particular during a summer internship and how did you find it?
Yeah. So I interned at GSK and I worked as a marketing procurement intern. I was tasked with creation of a prices benchmarking tool because they basically worked with many agencies around the world. So how do you create a prices benchmarking tool that you get a specific price for a specific role for the specific agency in a specific country on your fingertips in a few seconds.
So this is part of the supply chain and in a way operations.
It is a very niche role that actually marries marketing with operations and supply chain.
Perfect.
So it is a mix of three, and the distillation of these three together puts through what we call procurement.
Perfect. Thank you for the answer. If you could tell us about your role, how was it different from, say, a supply chain what she said.
I interned with Flipkart ads.
Okay.
And my role was to come up with a model that sort of estimates revenue based on planned campaigns for the brands that they have onboarded. So the foundation of the project and all the work that I did with them helped me choose media as a major in my second year and a double minor in data analytics and consumer cultures.
People who are looking to intern or who will probably intern 1 year down the line, what advice do you have to give to them so that they can say land up PPOs from the companies? How are the internships measured, if you could?
So for your PPOs, the one advice that I can honestly give you is establish great connections with your managers. Don't go beyond what the scope of your project is. Really try to take in whatever the company can offer to you, understand the business model, understand their working, understand the product. Really get the reason why you are sent to these companies. Otherwise, it's very easy to get you a life project. The reason why you are sent to the companies that you can take as much as the company can give you. And a lot of these really big companies that have historically run wonderful internship programs and management training programs are really invested in your education and your learning and what they can bring on the table for you as well. The way to go about it is, as soon as you have the project, hit the ground running, plan your task and set goals for yourself, mid-term goals, end-term goals, and set goals that are achievable.
Understood.
Yeah.
So develop a nice rapport, network with people, rapport with the manager, and set measurable goals and try to achieve.
And learn.
And learn. Okay. Thank you so much for that answer. Wonderful. दोस्तों आपने मुझे काफ़ी रिक्वेस्ट किया है कि सप्लाई चेन की वीडियोस बताओ, सप्लाई चेन में क्या रोल्स हैं, क्या स्किल सेट्स चाहिए. सो टुडे वी हैव विद अस Professor Subrat Sarangi. He has been 2 times Inside IIM Professor of the Year. He teaches supply chain and strategy at MICA. Thank you for coming in. So can you let us know and let the viewers know कि अभी market में in these big companies, what are the roles that they offer in supply chain specifically?
So supply chain and marketing are integrated. The typical roles which you wanted to know, one is strategic sourcing. Other role that comes up is supply chain risk handling, and उसके साथ जो associate होता है is ethical sourcing. So ethical risk, sustainable, you're absolutely right. ये सारी चीजें आजकल important हो जाती हैं.
ठीक है सर, मेरे व्यूवर्स कॉलेज वाले हैं जनरली दे आर कंफ्यूज्ड कि मुझे सप्लाई चेन लेना है कि मार्केटिंग लेना है, ये कैसे डिसाइड करूँ मैं. एंड इसी का एक कंटिन्यूएशन में व्हाट आर द स्किल सेट दैट इंडस्ट्री आल्सो वांट्स फ्रॉम द स्टूडेंट्स.
It's important as a business manager you need to understand all the functions. It will to some extent depend on the background of the student. यदि कोई tech graduate है, engineering graduate that is, but one who is interested in that area also shapes himself or herself depending on the background.
Thank you so much for these answers, sir. Thanks a lot.